What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Big Nerd Gaming Podcast, the gaming podcast most devoted to ranking things in the universe. I'm your host. My name is Westen. I'm still working on the intro. We'll get it one day. Thank you, everyone, for checking out episode 1. Really appreciate all the support. We have an amazing episode 2 for you. Just an unbelievable episode. Oh my God. I cannot believe how good this episode's going to be. Because we have the one and only Paul from Boss Fights, I think RPG site, RPG fan you've written for. If it says RPG on the website, it's probably written for it. How's it going, Paul?
Pretty good. It's RPG Gamer is the other site, but yeah, just for those watching at home. RPG fan, close relative, but
it was unprofessional of me to not do more research beforehand. But it's episode 2.
They're all interchangeable. You know what I mean? It's like they're all so similar. I think people get them confused too.
Look, Boss Fights on Substack. It's a great blog. Paul just came out with something about Power Rangers. So check out his blog for sure. And before we begin, I'm not big on preamble before getting into the show, but I have to talk about my relationship with Paul because I just think it's a fun story. So, I mean, I'd say Paul deserves like 40% of the credit for Big Nerd Gaming existing, because I used to just post my gaming takes on Twitter into a complete void. You know, it was just real life friends following me. Nobody really cared. And somehow I ended up following Paul and he ended up following me. I really didn't follow anybody that I didn't know on Twitter besides like big accounts. It was like, I don't know how it even happened. Then we just sort of realized that we lived in the same area. And then 1 year ago today, literally 1 year ago today, we met at a Final Fantasy concert in Detroit. Total coincidence that we're recording today, just worked out that way. But Paul's a great friend, and I'm really happy to have you on today, man.
Man, you forgot so much lore. We both went to MSU. We have friends in common. It's like in an alternate reality, it's like we were actually friends in college, but we're friends now, and that's what matters.
Yeah. We pretend that we were friends in college. It's it's like an RPG.
A big retcon.
Role play.
Yeah, a retcon.
So we retconned it. Yeah, Paul went to a frat with like one of my best friends. And we realized it was very crazy. Yeah, I mean, it was one thing that we're in the same area, but same school, same time, mutual friends, crazy stuff. So the magic.
Joe, are you watching this?
Dude, I'm definitely sending this link to Joe. He better be one. He at least can get through the first 3 minutes, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yes, today's podcast, of course, we got to rank something. So we will be ranking our top 5 Final Fantasy games ever with a couple little extra treats in there. But first, before we get into all that, briefly talk about what we're playing right now. Paul, what have you been playing? I gotta assume it's an RPG of some sort.
Man, it's always an RPG of some sort. I am face deep right now in Trails in the Sky first chapter, which is actually my first official entry into the series. I own a couple like Trails of Cold Steel chapters. And even back on the PSP, I had the first Legend of Heroes game that was localized for the PSP. I never got around to playing it, and I think it was like stolen up at MSU by some jerk. So I never got around to playing these games. It's gotten real popular over the last couple of years. So I picked up this game on day one just a couple weeks ago, and I have like 30 hours into it already, which for me is pretty fast because I only play like a couple hours a day. And when I say a couple, I mean like an hour, maybe 2 hours if I'm feeling nasty. So I'm about halfway through the game. I'm really enjoying it, and even though the plot has not revealed itself at all, it's still very like rote JRPG, like tropey sort of story. But I just have great expectations. Every time I post about it on Blue Sky, people are like, "Keep going, it's the best," and the characterization is really wonderful. So the battle system's great, the music is great. Combat is great. I'm just having a great time. And when I'm done, man, I'm going to sail my copy over to you.
Oh, man. I guess I'll have to play it then. I played like an hour and a half of the demo so far, and I played Daybreak last year, which I got through like probably 30 hours, or maybe 20 to 25. I mean, it has a great battle system, right? It mixes action and turn-based. The turn-based stuff is cool. It has systems where you can use your skills almost every time. It's not, got to just attack every time because I don't want to use my magic because I got to save it, you know. So it has movement within the battle system. There's a lot of cool depth to the battle system. But yeah, the story intro, of course, 30 hours in, they're like, oh, keep going, it'll get good eventually, right? Like, but just
Well, you just know that this is there's 3 chapters, right? So this story, and like unlike Final Fantasy, where it's like you can pick up any game because they're not related. And I was talking to someone else earlier today, and it was like, yeah, I'm playing these Trails games out of order because you have no idea that they're all related, but apparently they all fit into like this master chronology. So I'm starting at the beginning, and I know that if this 70-hour game or whatever is just chapter 1, then fine. I'll give it some time. I'll be there for Trails in the Sky chapter 2, whatever the heck they're going to call it.
yeah, I mean, because I assume that they're doing more remakes, right? Because I think the older games don't have as good of a battle system and all that. But yeah, it's I think our friend Cy, Netrunner on Blue Sky, he calls it the One Piece of JRPGs. So it's like, yeah, there's a reason I've never gotten through One Piece, but I liked the thing with Daybreak. I think that helped me get me through a while was it has like kind of an interesting setup, even though the story takes quite a while to get going. And Van Arkwright is just an incredible character, and the characters in this game are much more tropey, as you were talking about. So I think I was like, all right, I got through 90 minutes. I'm like, all right, maybe we'll see. But if you're lending me your copy, then I might have to. I guess I'll have to give it a real shot. But
You have a PS5,
I'm glad you're
right?
enjoying it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, then I'll bring it to you when I'm done. Especially since I sailed past your house today to take my daughter to soccer.
He did. He was 5 minutes. He was 5 minutes from me today. But we're doing this. I guess we don't have a way to do this in person, but we'll have to figure that out. Maybe a local library. You playing anything else right now?
I picked up a couple games on sale at Best Buy, like that Mickey Mouse, like 4-player came out. I think it came out this year, like not Island of Illusion, but Illusion Island maybe. And it's like you can play up to 4-player co-op, and it's like it's imagine like if you were to take like the Mario Brothers Wii version of playing with 4 other people, but then also like wrap it up in like a Metroidvania type map. It was like, go back here, get some more points, pick up this power up. My kids were like, Dad, we don't want to play this anymore. They're like, why do we keep having to go back? Yeah,
Damn kids.
I'm all, and
They
then
don't
I just I'm in
understand.
yeah, right. I'm in the middle also reviewing the Nicktoons Dice of Destiny game, so I'll be checking that out.
You voluntarily are reviewing that? You for
Yeah,
the kids' sakes there?
well, it's like there are two labels that I try to avoid, and like this might come back to bite me when I review this game. But if it's outright games or game mill, I try to avoid them. But I thought this is like Nickelodeon and RPG like hybrid. I thought it might be worth a shout. So check again in a couple of weeks when the review's up on RP Gamer.
RP Gamer. I'm putting that in there. Putting that in there next time, man.
I called
I
it I called
apologize
it
to RP
RP.
Gamer.
I've been there for 5 years, and I called it RPG Gamer from the time I started reading it, like 1999, up until like 2020 when I joined. So I got it. Don't worry about it.
How about RPG Aimer? No, it's RP Gamer. Okay, we got it. We got it down. All right. Well, I'm currently playing Hades 2. I guess before I talk about that, though, I talked a lot about Silksong last episode a month ago. I talked a lot of shit about Silksong, and I stand by everything I said, but I did finish the game. I finished it with no health upgrades because I just wasn't exploring well enough. It wasn't on purpose. It wasn't supposed to be a challenge run. I just didn't find enough health upgrades. I was one away from having one extra mask, which probably wouldn't have helped much because a lot of enemies do 2 damage. But yeah, so it was a great game though. I just want to say, as much shit as I talked last week, Silksong's incredible. Like it feels about as good as I've ever felt, like in terms of the controls and just the enemy design, the boss design. It's so good. The world is it's just got this like mystique. I think I kind of talked about that last month. I was pretty all in until I beat it, and that's the first Souls like I've ever beaten. So happy about that. That game deserved it. So just wanted to throw that out there real quick. But right now I'm playing Hades 2, and that game is good. Holy shit, that game is good. I love Hades. It is Hades 1. It is one of my favorite indie games ever. I think it's the best roguelite ever, and Hades 2 has just come along and it's blowing it away. Just blowing it away. Like the build variety. So basically, and they added extra moves to each weapon. So you have charged attacks now as well. Like last time you had like an attack, a special attack, and a cast. Now you have charged attacks for your main attack and your special. There's like a new moon attack that you can get. It's just unbelievable. Like every run is so crazy different. The game could have one weapon, and I feel like I'd still be like, oh, wait, this run I did a lot of different things than I did last run. But you have like 6 weapons. I think I've unlocked 5 so far. So each run can just go so differently because some runs it's just all about my special attack. Like I just happen to get a couple boons and that special attack's cooking, and maybe I mix in one other attack with it. Some runs it's my charge attack and I'm just using the charge attack. It's and every weapon is so vastly different. It's so well done, and every run feels good because there's like a cauldron where you can cook up things like, oh, there's extra fountains now and other things that you can unlock. You can upgrade your weapons after a little bit. There's Arcana cards. It's kind of like a little card system that kind of gives you upgrades. You can upgrade that. Like, unbelievable. And then there's all these ingredients and other things you can do. You can give other characters gifts that help enhance the relationship, which unlocks story stuff. It's really blowing Hades 1 away, which is crazy because Hades 1 is a great game. So my only downside to it so far is I just don't think the story is hitting nearly the level of the first game. The first game had a very personal story, and Melanoia, the main character this time, is just like she doesn't have the personal relationships. Like the first game was, Zagreus. Obviously, he's going up against his father, so it's very personal. And this time, it just feels it's a little more disconnected. It's a little more standard. If I'm explaining that right, it could get there. The story could get there, but the gameplay is just so good that I don't care as much. Like that was the big thing with Hades 1. It's like, oh, it's a roguelite, but it actually is a good story because this genre does not have good stories. But Hades 2's gameplay is just so good, it doesn't matter. So play that game. Holy shit, that will be talked about.
I know we talked about this briefly, but if someone were to watch this and be like, man, I really want to play Hades 2, but they haven't played Hades 1, like myself, would you advocate for them just to skip to Hades 2, or do you think Hades 1 is like necessary reading?
You should definitely play Hades 1, because it is a great game, although I do feel like if I tried to go back, I would not like it nearly as much anymore. But the story does build into Hades 2. There are real connections there. There are things in Hades 2 that plot-wise that definitely mean more because I have played Hades 1. There's one moment where I'm like, oh shit, like that was awesome, Now, don't want to spoil anything, but there's some callbacks that are important and vital to the story. But it's a great game in its own right, but just gameplay-wise, I'm not confident that I would enjoy it nearly as much now. So I would recommend playing it first because you'll get that enjoyment, and then Hades 2 will be even more awesome. So just play both.
Okay, I'm going to. So you hear that, listeners? You should do it too because I own Hades 1. I still haven't played it, so I'm going to go play that, and then I'll get around to this one eventually. And I was like that with Hollow Knight. I bought it on sale for like $3 maybe 3 years ago, and I just started playing it because I wanted to be ready for Silksong. I probably got a couple hours into it and then just got distracted, so I'll get to that one day, and then maybe one day I'll get to Silksong too.
Well, this is what happens when you start playing the one piece of JRPGs, so that can kind of dominate your life.
Yeah, well, you're good at cycling through some games. I try to have like tunnel vision and just get through it so I can be done with it. Otherwise, it just ends up, getting into this like lost in the shuffle rotation.
That's what's crazy is I am a game hopper, as you just alluded to. I'm usually rotating between 4, maybe even 5 games. But I have only played Hades 2 since it came out. It helps it's on Steam Deck, so when I'm mobile, I'm playing it. But usually, like once the kids are down and everything, that's when I get on my console. But instead, I'm just like, no, I'm gonna keep playing my Steam Deck because I want to play more Hades 2. It's very good, very good game. So in terms of roguelites, I don't think there's anything better, and I don't think it's close. Like I really don't think it's close. All right. So as we've talked about, Paul, you are a huge RPG fan, and of course, massive Final Fantasy fan. That's something we bonded about early on in our friendship. So I'm excited to talk Final Fantasy with you. I assume you've played pretty much every mainline entry and probably some side ones as well.
Man, I think it's fair to say that I've played probably, if it's been released in the U.S., I've played it. Even like Crystal Chronicles, just like even like the only one I probably haven't played was the mobile game All the Bravest, and I don't know if you remember that, that was just terrible, terrible.
Existed.
Yeah,
Did you
well,
play
you're
Mystic
lucky.
Quest?
Actually, I enjoy Mystic Quest. I know people like to shit on it, but I think it's a lot of fun. If you haven't played it, go play it. Download it on an emulator. You can just play it in an afternoon. It's got some sick chip beat tunes. Um, yeah, I like it. Do you not like it?
All right, all right. I didn't spend much time. Dude, that was the era where I'm emulating, and it's just like hour into a game. Okay, I'm moving on to the
Yeah,
next games.
100%.
But yeah, I've played all the mainline ones. I have not played any of the like I haven't played any of the 13-2, 13-3 or whatever. I haven't played 10-2.
Man, I call those
I
mainline
don't play
ones. Come
TL.
on, if it's got a main number on it, I'm
Well, I
there.
guess I haven't. I guess I haven't. I guess I haven't played all the mainlines, but I have.
I,
I've played the ones that aren't sequels, and I've played Final Fantasy Tactics, but I have not
I've
played the MMOs. So that's
I
my
feel
one.
like Andres is going to be like, no, 13.2 is not a main line. Stop it, Andres. It is. I'm
Love
preemptively
it.
telling him to
I
stop
love
it.
you calling out. I love you calling him out. The first guest of the Big Nerd Gaming Podcast already called out on episode 2, but more importantly, that call out's a great test to see if he's listening. If he makes it 18 minutes into the pod, congrats, Andres, you're here. All right, so we're gonna each give our top 5. So, well, first we're gonna do a dishonorable mention, just because why not? And then I have a couple honorable mentions. I'm not sure if Paul have any. I have to give some honorable mentions because people are gonna absolutely hate my list. My list
They're
will
going to
be
hate my list too.
despised. Oh no. This could be bad. What if we have
Yeah.
like the same list? Like we are kind of the same in a lot of ways. Because we have
Man, I don't
not
think
shared our
so.
lists. Okay. I don't know. There's not many people that have a list like mine, and everybody will hate my list so much. So I needed some honorable mentions to get people off my back when I inevitably give my top 5. But yeah, so the way this is going to work is if I give my number 5 and it's your number 3, just tell me to stop. We won't talk about it
Okay.
then. We'll wait till we get to yours. So, but first, do you want to start with a dishonorable mention? What is the Final Fantasy entry that you respect the least?
Man, that I respect the least, I'm going to say Final Fantasy 15.
That is mine. That's mine.
We should tell your listeners first. You are the king of rankings and lists. I am like the anti-king, the anti-hero of
Yeah,
lists.
he
Because
hates
if you
it.
tell me to make a list, I was working on my list an hour and a half ago. So, yeah, but I
And you're
think
probably sweating
it's
and hating it.
well, yeah, I was inside an indoor soccer place, and it's like 80 degrees here today for some reason. So yeah, I was sweating bullets, sitting there like, oh no. But Final Fantasy 15, it's like you have this like hyper ambitious transmedia project where they're like, watch the anime, play the like 16-bit brawler, watch the movie with Sean Bean in it, and I was all in. I ordered that like this was the very last like a Gonzo collector's edition video game I ever ordered because it came with like some figure that I sold on eBay because I never opened it. And then you get to the game, and I played the game day one, and before someone else is going to come in here and be like, oh, no, you don't know because you didn't do this. My save file has like from 2016. I remember I took my PlayStation 4, we drove to Florida. I brought it with me, playing it at my wife's family's house in the side room at night, clocking in hours, okay? The next year, when Comrades came out, my daughter was born. I'm playing the shit out of Comrades. I'm there for all of it. I've experienced all of it, but there's just the story. I love the characters. I really like the characters. I like the story, the parts that you were able to fucking decipher from playing the game. But there is just so much left off the table or on the table, whatever the phrase is, that it left a bad taste in my mouth. I liked the ending. I found it emotional. You didn't cry because you never cry. I like shed a couple tears at the ending because I thought it was beautiful. But just the way that we get there, I spent like 60, 70 hours running around in like the JRPG equivalent of Missouri, and like running around tumbleweeds, doing all the quests, doing everything,
Sure.
thinking, man, I can't wait to get to Altisha and see what that looks like and see what the rest of the game looks like. And it was like, you go from this open world kind of experience to this on the rails, shoot you all the way to the end. All this stuff's happening off screen so you can buy the DLC. It's just there's so much there that I understand it was in development hell, but it's like you didn't have to put us through hell to get to the end of the game. And while I enjoyed the combat system back 10 years ago, I played Final Fantasy 16 and I played, or it was 7 Remake, right? And then going back to try to play 15, and you were like, I can't. I don't want to. Thoughts?
The impact on the combat system is awful. Like it just doesn't feel like you're hitting anything. Like it just doesn't feel good. Yeah, you could tell it's like kind of the beginnings of what they're trying to work on, which probably more came to fruition with 7 Remake. And then, yeah, the open world structure is just terrible. It's just so slow, just getting in the car, getting out, just the the most boring, lackluster open world design you could ask for. And yeah, I mean, the buddy dynamic is cool, right? Like, that's probably the one good thing about the game is just the cast is fun. But, I mean, I don't think anyone stood out all that much individually. And yeah, I couldn't get through it. I didn't get to the end. So, I guess forewarning, there might be light spoilers.
Yeah, I mean,
There
come on,
might
the
be
game's
light
10 years
spoilers as we
old.
talk about this, but it's Final Fantasy 15, so don't worry about those spoilers. No, I did not care that I just found out some
Man,
things because it's fucking
another
Final Fantasy
thing
15.
Another thing about it too is like I remember I was sitting at work when the trailer came out, and you were watching like Noctis during the Leviathan fight, and it's like you're looking at it and it looks incredible. You're like, this is going to be the most incredible set piece of my life, and then you go to play through it and you're like, for real, it might as well have been a QTE. And the only thing that sticks in my head the most from the game is when Noctis is like, you're running around the open world every 70 seconds. Imperial's above us! And then it just drops the same set of enemies over and over and over. It's exhausting.
Yeah, that's the only Final Fantasy like I straight up don't respect. Like I just like I didn't care for 8. There's some others I didn't really care for, but I'm like, yeah, sure, I get why people like it. I just really don't understand 15. I mean, so there's the buddy dynamic, but overall, I don't get it. So, well, that's great. So this is what I was afraid of, though, Paul. I really hope we
No,
know the
don't
same
worry.
or same-ish top 5. Okay.
Didn't care for 8. Don't worry. We're out divergent paths. Here we go.
Any honorable mentions you want to give before we get to top 5? We won't say like, oh, this is on my list on this one. So
Honorable
just go
mentions.
ahead.
I would say I can do one. If you do two, I'll do two. My first one is probably Final Fantasy IX. Final Fantasy IX was a game that, and 12 is a game that I was so excited to play back when it was coming out that I had like downloaded the first disc in Japanese, and this is what 1999, so I'm 12, everybody, and then I printed off like the translation of all the menus and the items and everything from Japanese into English, and just sat there and played the game in Japanese. But it would never load disc 2, so I played disc 1 like 3 or 4 times before it came out in English, in Japanese.
Such a
on
sicko. I love it.
I know, and it's like, and I love the game. It's a great game. It just is just like it's just kicked off by a hair off my top 5 list. And I think that
So
this remake is never happening. Everyone just acknowledge that it's never happening. If it was going to be announced, they would have announced it already.
sad that Paul had to be the bearer of bad news there, but um,
And if you need to talk to me
I'm
about
glad
it,
you were.
you can find me on Blue Sky. You can find me on whatever it's called, Substack. We can talk about it. But if you look at all this character art and all this promo shit that they were obviously clearly making that was supposed to be in support of this remake, and then they've just like trickled it out on Instagram, like that's how you know they weren't making all this stuff for no reason. Everybody, sorry.
So I'll just say Final Fantasy IX was one of my honorable mentions. Funny
Get
enough.
out of here, dude. Get
So
out of here.
this is ridiculous, man. So Yeah, I actually, this is another game I feel like I abandoned it, probably late in, like probably around the end of disc one when I was a kid. And, there's just so much hype for it. I actually played it in full for the first time at the very start of this year. So, yeah, I mean, it's a great story. It's very interesting going back to that era in 2025 because I mean, you just notice how much better the plot pacing was in that era. They didn't feel the need to put as much random crap in there to eat up your time. Although they decide to eat up your time by with difficulty spikes instead, so you have to grind. So it was just different, right? Different ways. But overall, the plot pacing's so good. Vivi is my second favorite Final Fantasy character of all time. That arc is just phenomenal, right? It's emotional, it's interesting, there's mystery, it's great stuff. So, I mean, I think if I played it in full during the time and gotten through it, I would like it more. Playing it in 2025, the battle system suffers a lot. It is an unbelievably slow battle system. ATB takes forever. Sometimes I would select an attack and it wouldn't play until like 2 minutes later, and I'd be like, "Oh, I forgot that I selected that attack.
Yeah.
It's been so long." Now the new version, when you play this, the remaster has like a speed up, but it's like you either play at normal speed or you play at like an insane speed that
Yes.
it's just so.
What did you
Where's the in between?
What did you play it on when you played it earlier this year? And if you remember, when you started playing it, I started playing it too, and I got through disc one on the Switch version, but it's so slow on the Switch that I was like, I stopped.
I played it on the Xbox Series X. So
And there's a great RPG site article about comparing the versions, and it was like the Switch load times are just egregious, man. I'm just cursed never to get past disc
really,
one.
that's a bummer. And I'm assuming in that era it was probably pretty bad load times too. So there's I didn't speed up the battle system all that much, but there were definitely spots where I did, and that definitely helped me get through it. But yeah, and also like, why is the party composition so weird? I like when Final Fantasy games give you random parties and kind of force you into different combinations and force you to experiment with everybody. But I think I played like the first 15 hours without a healer most of the time because they just
Yeah.
don't give you one. Like it's
Yeah.
so weird. So there were some odd decisions, but beautiful game too. Like holy crap, some of the
Yeah, yeah.
cutscenes, man, those still hold up like unbelievably well. But it's a really strong game. I really enjoyed it, but even at the time, I think the battle system, even in that era, was on the weaker side. But the plot,
Do
the
you
characters, the art's great, music great.
Yeah, I agree. Do you remember the marketing for the game where it was like the crystal comes back?
No, I don't.
Yeah, and they were like, "Oh, this is like a classic Final Fantasy," and it's like, I love when people complain about Final Fantasy being too like sci-fi and stuff like that. And it's like every single one of these games is sci-fi. Number one, they're like time traveling. Number four, they're flying to the moon. So and then like everything after that is
Oh
basically
yeah,
Star Wars.
Final Fantasy IX has tons of sci-fi elements still.
Yeah,
Like,
a hundred
I mean, they're in
percent.
there. So
Do you have a second honorable mention?
I do. Do you want to go first or?
No, you go first on this one because I'm afraid it's the same.
Okay, mine is Final Fantasy X.
Oh,
You
good.
safe?
Okay, no. Yeah, you go first.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I mean, it's a strong game, right? I think I just overall, not always. Like I did like 13. I like other games, but the kind of on the rails Final Fantasy has never quite done it for me as much as just I don't know. Something about Final Fantasy feels like it needs to be more about adventure. And when you're on the rails, it just doesn't have that same sense of adventure. Final Fantasy X, I mean, that's if you look at what are the games that's like, whoa, this is a big step up, right? Like this is a new era of Final Fantasy. Like I kind of think 6, 7, and 10, right? Those probably which is just kind of coincides. It's just how video games were, like those eras. Although 6 is, I mean, same console as some others, but just like that game was so much more cinematic than some others. Yeah, it was an incredible step up in visuals, voice acting, great music, great strong battle system. I never really got behind the characters. I always thought Titus was just kind of weird, but other than that, I mean, it's a great game. Just short of the list.
I know you love Lulu's like fucking goth belt bullshit.
Yeah. Oh, Oron's what's up with Oron's like collar?
How about he's our age now? Like when we play that game and you're like 13, 14 or whatever, and he's like 32. He's younger. He's younger than we are.
That's ancient in JRPG. In
Yeah.
JRPG, that's like actually an age that doesn't even exist in JRPGs for like a long time. So,
In
that age literally, it's like
JRPGs,
you're either 19, 20, or 70. Like that's
yeah.
about it.
If you're 36 in a JRPG, you are a deadbeat father.
All right, what's your second honorable mention?
My second honorable mention is Final Fantasy 13. It was another game, so
Oh,
uh, yeah, the it was like 9 and 12. I had downloaded and like put on a modded PlayStation, but I bought I on eBay. I bought a copy of Final Fantasy 13 in Japanese, and I got it, and I printed the script. I printed the whole damn script, you guys, off the computer, and just sat there and like thumbed through the cut scenes, and because the battles were. It's like mostly auto battle, right? At the very top, you've got it all like picking the attacks for you. So I wasn't really so much into the minutia of the act of the combat system. You'd spend more time dealing with the synergy, the paradigm configurations, which are in English anyway. So it was because it was like color coded and using English letters, so that was really easy to manage. I really enjoyed. It was just such a great step up, right? Beautiful graphics, beautiful soundtrack, beautiful characters, and even though the characterization I enjoyed too. So I enjoyed that game, but again, it's just like is just not on the list of the top five. And I think that people really hated on that game when it came out. I think the marketing in America was such a misfire. They were using like a Leona Lewis song. Like you'd be at B Dubs watching the game, and then like a commercial for 13 would come on, and it would be set to My Hands from Leona Lewis, and it's like this is not the audience you're looking for here in America, at least in my opinion. So I think the game was like misunderstood, but
you think that was a reaction to Kingdom Hearts? Like they wanted their own simple and clean moment.
I don't know because it was like already 7 years after the first. Or no, I think even more. I think it
Yeah,
was like 10
yeah.
years after Kingdom Hearts. But and like what I don't like
I do
about the
remember the marketing.
sequels, yo, it was terrible, terrible, terrible marketing. But yeah, I
It's a
had
great
it.
song.
It's a great song. Leona Lewis is wonderful, but it was just like, and I'd beaten the game in Japanese before the English copy came out. I went out and got a copy on day one. I played it, loved it. But still, it's just like not on that list. And I think Beyond the Rails, even though the story mandates it, and I appreciate the story, you're just like, bro, I want to go back. I want to go to this place, and there's nothing to do but just battle. So you get fatigued a little bit from the game. The one town you go to, like Palom Polum, it's still battle, battle, battle.
It's
Complained
exactly what I was talking
that
about
a
with 10,
lot.
right? They kind of
Yeah.
they kind of go together. Yeah, I like the battle system in 13 a lot. And I like the story and I
Yeah.
like lightning.
Yeah.
It was on the verge for me. It was probably it was my almost honorable mention. So,
And I know you haven't
but I
played the
didn't play the
sequels.
sequels.
What I dislike about the sequel is that you get the sense that the company was chasing trends in America, and that they were so keen on trying to figure out what people didn't like about 13 that they tried to fix in 13 too. That they like took a little too much out of the sauce that made 13 great. In order to be like, oh well, you know what? You want more party diversity? Here, you have your third slot's a monster. That you get to like, and then I think 13.3, as I call it, Lightning Returns, is really just like an interesting game. I've written about how I like really respect it, and it like is like a preview of what's to come for the series. But the Square seems insecure during that era, in my opinion.
I'm so I replayed 9 because I never finished it, and there's a part of me that I'm trying to think like next time there's downtime in the gaming world, what do I want to try next, right? And 8 is on my list just because I mean maybe it was a 9 situation where I was too young and I just kind of threw it away too fast, or 13. But then I feel like if I could play 13, I might get sucked into the whole trilogy, and I don't have time for that. So we'll talk about that more. But I'm definitely going to be
Remaster it.
continuing to revisit
Remaster it,
Final
Square.
Fantasy.
They need to remaster it. Give
Yeah,
us a
for
collection
sure.
of all three. Charge us $100. I'll pay it.
Right?
Even though I've got the games on my PS3 and my Steam Deck, I'll still pay for it.
That's Paul's willing to pay $30 for Game Pass too. Microsoft. Just, any other company, if you want to rip someone off, Paul is here. He's right here.
No, man,
Please.
because I canceled my PC Game Pass yesterday. It was I was paying like $12 a month and I was never using it. So I said, you know what, Microsoft, take this. I think $40 a month for us for Game Pass is crazy.
Yeah, it's 30 now. Yeah, that's for another episode.
Oh, 30.
As a game blogger, I will still get $360 more, way more than that out of Game Pass. Most people, I'm doubtful on that. All right, it's time.
Yes, here we go.
Obviously, Paul, you've blown me away. I am just so excited now. I was already excited for this podcast, but and the honorable mentions, and the dishonorable mentions, you've just given me incredible lore. I'm so excited to see with the ones you really like. What kind of lore are we going to get, man? Because my lore is not nearly as good. And once again, everyone's going to hate my list. So just keep that in mind. But I have to be me. Like, I can't fake my list.
I have to be me.
To make it more palatable for people. Like, I'm sorry. You're just going to have to live with my list that you hate. So, your number 5, Final Fantasy. What is it, Paul?
Okay, my number 5 Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy X.
All right. There we go. We're kind of still in line. I don't like this. This is making me nervous, but go ahead. Do you have any additional thoughts? You didn't really give me any thoughts, so.
I have some lore on this one.
Yes.
I asked for a PS2 for Christmas that year, and my parents got me one, but they were hiding it like in their closet, like the number one place you should not hide Christmas presents. And I went and I found the PlayStation 2 box. So I went and we're like on Christmas break, right? And I went and I opened it up, took the PlayStation out, and put a bunch of school books in there, and then rewrapped it. Okay, and put it back in the closet. And then when Final Fantasy X came out, I went out and bought it. And this is like a week before Christmas. And then I sat there and playing it in my room at night when no one was awake. So I had 30, 40 hours into the game by the time Christmas rolled around. And it was like you turn it on. I remember when I bought Final Fantasy 11 for the PC, it came with like a preview of 10. You're just like, your jaw drops at the graphics, and I like the story. I like that it's like mostly straightforward. The plot twists are telegraphed pretty well, but I like the combat system. I really liked Lulu and Waka, and I like just the sort of twist that they made on the combat system. And I think that it's just a really good game. And even though I like 10-2, I just think it really pales in comparison to some of the like more nuanced thematic elements of 10. And like that scene where Yuna does like the sending to the far plane, like right after like Sin destroys a village, is just like an incredible, like it's like a cinematic masterpiece. So I think that 10 is where you see that Square, I think it's Squaresoft still at the time, they like understood the assignment and they wanted to give you that same sort of eye-popping moment that they gave you when 7 came out. So I think for those reasons it's a classic for a reason, and I love it. Yeah.
What a mischievous kid you were, man. That's devilish right there, man.
Man, I have so much stories I could tell.
What did you like Blitzball?
No. Forget that.
Yeah, it's terrible. Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, and I don't even
want to
like
make sure we're on the same page.
I like the main characters are probably my least favorite. Titus and Yuna, whatever their names are. They, and like, you know, that laughing scene where they're like ha 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 ha. It's really hard to watch, but you know, it's 25 years old, and it was the first fully voice acted, so you know, you have to cut them a little slack.
Can I make a point on the laughing scene? It's become like vogue to be like, well, you gotta understand the context of the laughing scene. It's like, no, I understand the context. Like, he's trying to laugh hard on purpose to whatever, cheer her up or tell her to chill out.
He sounds like an alien who's never heard a human laugh before.
Have you ever done a fake laugh? Like, I fake laugh for my kid all the time. It doesn't sound that bad. Like, I don't know, man. It's even with context. People are trying to make that scene happen, and I refuse. I refuse.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right. My number 5 is Final Fantasy 16.
Not on my list. Good.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank God. Fuck.
I
I
I mean, I like the game too, but it's just like,
yeah.
it's just not on the list.
Yeah, I mean, first off, I said Vivi was my second favorite Final Fantasy character ever. Clive's number one. Clive, we need some adults in the room, all right? I like adults. He's the man, dude.
He
Clive,
really is. He
wonderfully,
really is a man. He is the
he
man.
is a man.
And it's like, and Square's like, they're like, we want you to know Clive is absolutely fucking hot, right? I mean, do you remember all the dialogue? You remember the dialogue where like characters would be eyeing him and be like, "What's up?" Even Ben Starr was reading that tweet. Do you remember the tweet from Ben Starr that he reads? That's like, "Who's this gorgeous, like big-breasted person?" And Jill. I'm paraphrasing it, but it's just, yeah.
The scene where Clive and Jill are just butt ass naked together is one of a kind. This is a great scene. Um, I wasn't sure how to feel in the moment. It was so. I was like, man, they're really going for it right here. They put it just like Clive. They're putting it all out there right now. But yeah, I mean, first off, I love world building. I love politics. And the first half of Final Fantasy 16 is straight up a 10 out of 10 for me. I
Dude,
love it.
amazing.
Like it just there's just so much going on and there's so many factions, but active they have the active time lore so you can pause, you can like just read back up on the factions of people. Really helpful for keeping everything straight because they throw a lot at you. So it's just like it's I mean it was inspired by Game of Thrones and I really think the first half of the game like is as good as a Game of Thrones. You know, there's a lot going on. Unbelievable characters. I mean, Sid's awesome. Clive is great. Jill, there's a lot of, some people really shit on Jill. Some people think she's just awesome and they really did a lot for her. I mean, she has one strong arc. I do think they kind of throw her away after that in an unfortunate way. But yeah, I mean, the first half of the game, incredible. And the combat, like Devil May Cry inspired, it lives up to that billing in my view. There's a lot you can do with it. It's a lot of fun. It's fast paced. The second half of the game, I still love. The side quests in the game, which are much maligned, the main ones are really good. Like there's some great character building in there. The plot's still pretty good, I think mostly because of the characters, but it kind of throws away the politics in the second half for whatever reason. And the combat gets too easy, right? It was just way too easy at the end. But the first half of the game's story was just I was on edge the whole time, and I just love the characters so much that I was able to still enjoy the second half a lot. And I mean, regardless, like the set pieces in that game are just some of the best of all time. Like every boss fight is just what this could be a final boss in any other game, and it is like the second boss here. Uh, just phenomenal work. I think that game's awesome. It was my game of the year in 2023 over Baldur's Gate 3. Even though it does have flaws, it definitely has flaws. There's a few issues, but I just think that the strengths of that game are so strong that I still love it. It's my number five.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree. I think it was my favorite game of the year in 2023 when it came out. And I'm one of those people, I like Jill's arc. I think my problem is that once Joshua comes in, it's like Jill's also it's like suddenly stops talking. Like she's there with the two of them, and she's not even talking anymore. And then when they're going to do like these final quest and missions, and like they're going to fight, I don't even remember his name, the guy who's got the Odin icon. She's just like, I'm gonna hang out at home. It's like they just like
Yeah, well,
sideline her for no reason.
she was willing to give up her power, and it's just like
Yeah,
I
I
don't,
guess I
yeah,
forgot about that.
yeah, yeah, but it's like I mean, it felt like, but that was fitting because she was kind of an afterthought in the second half of the game, in my view.
But I think that the I like her as a character. I think she like the character designs in that game are so beautiful. I love the relationship between Clive and Joshua when they get back together and how it like propels the story forward. And again, this is a game where it ended and like I shed a tear because I thought it was really beautiful and like the
Yeah,
love that the
great
brothers
ending.
had for each other is really motivating. I know you have a brother, I have a brother too, and it's like I would do anything for my brother. And you get the sense that he would too. And just the performances by Ben Starr is just incredible. Like his voice is so he can do he's so suave sounding, but he's got such an emotional depth that it really nails it. So yeah, I have a hard time. The combat is probably my least favorite part because I feel like too many RPG elements have been siphoned away from the game. That's probably my biggest complaint. But I played the game, and then I went through. I did every single side quest, and then I got like halfway through in Final Fantasy mode. But I agree with you. It's just not on my list, but it's a great game, and I think that a lot of the detractors, they just want to be haters, you know. And again, it's like all these Final Fantasy games, even if they're maligned when they first come out, like 13 was, people are now like, oh, it's a classic. Yeah, like girl, we knew.
Yeah, I I think if Final Fantasy mode was available off the bat, without having to beat the game first, I wonder if it'd be higher on my list. Because I mean, the combat getting too easy was definitely a problem for me. So that might be a thing I do down the line, replay it one day, but probably not anytime soon because I rarely replay games, and even ones I love.
And
So,
like, I wonder if it's been
but yeah,
patched to be available at the onset, you know, because I feel like they're always tinkering with games post release in this era. I don't know.
right. I would think so because I think that was a complaint. All right, what is your number four?
Final Fantasy 12.
Not on my list.
No, good. All right, good. I like that. So,
I'm not an MMO
well,
guy, so it's
yeah.
a very MMO pilled game.
Oh man, I guess I want to give an honorable mention before, really quickly to Final Fantasy 11, not 14, to 11 because I bought that from Japan. It came in, it didn't run on my PC, so I had to wait for it to come out on PS2. And, I played it back in 2003, and I am still now. I haven't played it in like 2 months, but I still sub to it after like a 15-year gap of not doing it, and it's active. People are playing it. I love Final Fantasy 11. If you want to play it with me, dear viewers, let me know. I'll be happy to introduce you to my link shell. Even when I played my last time I played, I was in a place where I was like totally underleveled. I needed a group. I had some spells I didn't actually buy, and like so I ran into a member of my link shell, and he went and bought them for me, brought them to me, and ran me all the way to the top. So, anyway, back to 12.
You
That was
have
another.
offered therapy. You've offered therapy to the listeners, and now you've offered Final Fantasy 11 companionship. I mean, what a
Yeah.
generous guy.
So 12, and that was another game that I had, like I told you earlier, I downloaded it and was playing the Japanese version while I was a sophomore in college. That's why we weren't friends. And the
I was playing
I'm
Guitar
not a,
Hero, so
I guess I was playing Rock Band with my roommates, but the the MMO, I missed the world maps from Final Fantasy games in that era, but they did a really good job of like making you feel like you were in this world because the giant zones that were interconnected. I like the story, I because there's a lot of political intrigue, and it just like 16 kind of goes off the rails 3/4 of the way through. And I love just like the British affect everybody has. It was like, what is my favorite phrase? When they're talking about like I think it's nethicite, they're like manufactured nethicite, and it was just like manufactured. Like, what a silly word. But it has stuck with me for 20 years, everybody. And I think a lot of people. 12 came out right when the PS3 came out, and so I feel like a lot of people were like kind of like missed it because they were so hyped up in like the two games available for PS3 when they first came out. They're all busy playing Heavenly Sword or some shit. But the music is incredible. The battle system, the game just lets you with the Gambit system, and you'll see from the rest of my list the Final Fantasy game that lets you tinker around and almost like destroy the its systems for the satisfaction of the player. Those really kind of get me going. So I like that you were able to just sit there in the back end and tinker with it and just make like a death squad. And some of those Esper fights, man, are incredible. And I like
yeah,
Ash.
I
I
had a
like
lot
Ash.
of.
Go ahead. I'm done.
I was just gonna say the Gambit system. The fact that I enjoyed, and I always loved Ogre Battle 64. Playing Unicorn Overlord last year and loving that makes me like you talking about the Gambit system makes me go like, man, maybe I do need to give. Maybe that's the Final Fantasy I need to give another go because that
Do
one
it.
I just MMO stuff, man. MMO-ish combat has just. I mean, outside of like Knights of the Old Republic, like it has to be really good for me to get through that kind of battle system. So, but maybe that's the one.
And
So
I
I don't have
like
much to offer
how
because I didn't care for it.
I like that 12 and 13, it's like you can see like the wheels turning where 12 was very micro, where you're making gambits for like, oh, if this happens, then that happens. And then in 13, they were like, they zoomed the hell out and they're like, now we're focusing on the macro. And I love the macro management. So I'll get to that.
All right, my number four is Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Man, I didn't put remake. For some reason, I was keeping that off the list, so I didn't do
Oh,
that. For some,
would it
wait,
have been? I mean,
no, go ahead. I'm sitting here looking at my list, being like, "Are we on 4 or 3?" Go ahead. We're on 4.
I'm on 4. Yeah. Okay. So would it have been on your list if
Yeah, I think so,
if you
dude.
had? Okay.
Yeah, I think. Oh, damn.
Well,
I would have to seven's on my list, so I think 7 and 7 remake. I'll just kind of like tie together. But yeah.
yeah, that works. But I'm glad it's not on your list because I didn't want our list to be too similar. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll be talking about Final Fantasy VII later. I hate to spoil, but it sounds that way. I I have beaten Final Fantasy VII once, the original. I have beaten the Midgar section of that, like you with Final Fantasy IX. I've probably beaten it 5 times. Like it's just like the pacing of it. I mean, it's so cinema. I mean, the intro, like, dude, come on, man. When the train pulls up and the zoom out, and it's like, holy shit. I got chills like immediately. Like the music's hitting, but then all of a sudden you're fighting. You're like, holy shit, this action system rules. Like this is not like Final Fantasy 15. They made it good. Like it feels impactful. It's just such a nice mix of turn based and action because the action's good, but then you're plotting things out. All the characters feel very different, but they all feel good in their own way. I mean, I guess you could say Aerith maybe more questionable there, but there's a lot of strategy with her that I like. So, but yeah, the story when they first announced that they were gonna do this remake in 3 parts, I was like, are you kidding me? Like I was really upset about it. I did not like it. I almost thought like, I'm not even gonna play it off the bat, but of course I got sucked in and just really impressed by how they managed to stretch it out, but it doesn't feel stretched out. What they did with Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge, making them into real characters that matter, was awesome. Like, and obviously seeing this whole world with the better graphics, the new combat system's awesome, and I love the end. The ending is awesome. Like it. We'll see what they do with it as things go along, but you kind of think you're experiencing this game, and okay, cool, like more Final Fantasy VII. Then at the end, it's like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen next. That was like a pretty amazing moment. So I did not expect, and this game is more on the rails, which is something I kind of criticized with Final Fantasy X. But I think the combat system and just everything around it is so good. It didn't bother me too much. A couple small flaws with the battle system, like with the elemental stuff, but I loved it. Absolutely loved it, and I replayed it, which said I don't replay many games. I replayed it before Rebirth, and I loved it all over again. It was a great game.
I think people complain about like some of the mini games and the padding and stuff like that. I'm like, no, I was there every single step of the way. I'm actually in the middle of like I replay it like in chunks, and I'm like at the end of chapter 9 right now, at the beginning of chapter 10, and it's just like, how can you if you played 7 and you love 7, it was like just the expanding of the characters, because even though they feel different, they still feel like they are representations of the characters that you met in the original game. Like even Aerith is just like you see those nuggets of her personality in the original game, and remake really expands on them. And there's so many just like moments, like just emotional moments, like with Tifa, like in the bar, especially when you first see her and she's just talking about how she feels so stuck. Like that's never really that never comes across in 7, and it just makes her so much more humanized, and just like incredible set pieces, like when you're escaping the train. Yeah, even the music that's playing during some of those segments that you only hear one time, and even if they have the interpolations of the classic 7 songs, they just hit so hard, man. 7 remake is a beautiful, beautiful game. Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad you called out the fact that it's voice acted. Just, I mean, it makes a huge difference. Like, yeah, I mean, we all have games we love that are just text. Nothing tops good voice acting. It just doesn't. Like it's
And
another
the voice
level when it
acting
has
in
that.
this game is just incredible. And like I remember people were complaining like when they announced the voice cast, because they weren't using the guy from General Hospital who voiced Cloud 20 years ago. Who gives a shit? You watch Advent Children, and it's like he's so bland. They're all so bland. It's like, oh wow, Rachel Lee Cook plays Tifa. Who cares, man? The actresses that they got to play Tifa and Aerith breathe so much life into them. And I met them at the Rebirth press event back in 2024, and to meet them and just to tell them like how much I appreciated the hard work that they put in. And they were so appreciative, and they were like, "Thank you so much. It's an honor to play these characters." And especially Britt Baron, who plays Tifa. Like, I mean, she's an actress that you see. You can see her on Netflix shows and stuff like that. I think I have to say, even though I love Aerith, it's like I've always had my soft spot is for Tifa, and her voice acting in the remake series is just incredible. She is so much more relatable and empathetic and just human feeling. Like you feel her pain from the minute you meet her.
It's a lot of
I love that
subtlety.
game.
Her and Cloud, I feel like are difficult characters to play because they're not super extra in any sort of way, like kind of everybody else. You know, they are more grounded, and those two, like Cloud, I think especially, is a very hard character to play, and yeah, they both
He
did
nails
great.
it.
Yeah, Britt Baron.
He nails it.
Britt Baron was awesome.
Cody Christian, I feel like he was on like some CW
Yeah.
show, All American. And I never watched that, right? But after watching him in Cloud, I'm like, this guy's a good actor because you can just hear
Yeah.
the way he just the inflection in his voice in small spots. I don't think he gets enough praise for it. He should.
Yeah. Character's very aloof and quiet, and it's tough to make a memorable character out of that, but he does it. All right, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Final Fantasy VII, which I'm also going to now loop into. It's hard.
By the way, that is also my number 3. So there we go.
And I know that
I told you
7
people are
is,
going to hate my list.
7 is just like one of those games that I remember playing Final Fantasy VI for the Super Nintendo and just being like shook by it. And then it's like 6, like you said, 6, 7, and 10 are those ones where you're just like, right when you play them for the first time because they are just so creative and they are so experimental. And I just think 7, it's like the way they crack open customization with the materia system. And again, that's another game where they're like towards the end, if you are really digging your heels in, I mean, you can bust that system wide open with the W materias, like some of those summons. Like, in what game are you like, hey, I'm gonna do a W summon of Knights of the Round, and then my both party members are gonna mimic me, you know? So then you're gonna in one turn you're doing 6 rounds of this 20-minute summon.
They managed to make like a class system, but just with pure customization, which
Yeah.
I don't know if I had seen to that point. Yeah, then just how like Final Fantasy VI has a pretty damn cinematic intro, especially for Super Nintendo. But man, they said that opening of Final Fantasy VII, when the time, I'll never forget when the timer hits in the opening sequence of Final Fantasy VII. Because I mean, what RPG is doing that, right? Like in that era, you know, it's just so bold, so cinematic. I mean, great characters. It's a shame about the translation at times, but yeah, that game is just the mix of the battle system, the story, the characters. It's an excellent journey, and I mean, the definitive Final Fantasy for a lot of people for good reason.
What can I say, man? This game are sick.
Yes. All right. Well, so then we had the same number 3. So number 2. What's your number 2?
Final Fantasy VIII.
My God. Okay. Sell me. So
Yeah,
this
all right.
so you've offered therapy to people on the Final Fantasy IX remakes. I feel like this is my own personal like Final Fantasy therapy session. Like you're trying to figure out which Final Fantasy I'm gonna try next that I didn't finish. So give
And
me.
I think it should
pitch me on
be.
8.
It's like 12. 12 is a great choice, but what I think about 8 is that you can see how they were attempting to do something really different here. Not even in terms of just like the junction system, which I love because it's another opportunity for the game to say, you are at I'm playing it right now, and I'm just got done with like the timber mission, and that's still early on, but it's like you can already start breaking the game wide open by if you sit there and draw 100 spells, or if you refine, you can take items and refine them into spells through the Guardian Force. You can walk into battles just like souped up with hit points or defense or strength because of the junction system, and it reminds me of the Saga series a little bit because that game lets you break it wide open if you want to, and so you there's so much stuff you can do, and that's one of the things I really love about it because even though it's a JRPG, and there's some linearity, at least in terms of story. You are able to you can really just fuck around, and that's the thing I love the most about it. The music, I think seven has such incredible classic music, but I think that if they were to give eight the remake and the rebirth treatment with like new remixes and all that stuff, I think it would probably be better than the seven remake series. Like the battle theme, the boss fights, even Laguna's themes are incredible. The Eyes on Me song I think is a beautiful song that plays like during some really classic moments. And I like the story. I really like the story. I like the final boss. I like the only thing about the story I don't like is when they're like, "Oh, we were all in the same orphanage, but the Guardian forces erased our
Yes.
memory."
Yes.
That is like it's groan-inducing anime bullshit. But other than that, the game's like artwork is Squall and Renoa hugging each other, right? And their love story really does like it feels real and genuine, and it propels the narrative forward in so many ways. And I bought into it, and I still buy into it. And even though I think Squall's probably like my least favorite character in the whole series,
They learned way too much from Cloud when they made Squall.
yeah,
They're like, oh, people
yeah,
love this Cloud guy. Let's lean more into it. Like,
yeah, exactly. But like Zell and like I like Selfie and like all these other characters are just like, um, I really like it, and I think it's underappreciated, and I think that people aren't willing to give it the second look that it deserves. So I think that Final Fantasy VIII is just it's like an unsung hero, and I knew that I wanted to like kind of piss people off a little bit, so I'd like leave it up there in the higher rankings because it's like, is seven arguably a better game? Yeah, I think seven is probably a better JRPG, and like especially like seven remake and rebirth, but I think eight is they had already perfected the like by this time they know how to make these games, and they are still willing to say what can we do differently, what can we do to subvert expectations, and I think in 8 they did it in spades, and I think that's part of the reason why people dislike it.
yeah, it was bold. I'll give it that. Okay? That's the next Final Fantasy game that I will retry. Hopefully at the start of next year, like I did
And I
Final
think
Fantasy IX this year.
now that we're adults, I think that they're playing some of these games again as an adult, and especially you're able to appreciate some of the nuance in a way that we weren't able to as children. Yeah, is some of the stuff clunky, yeah, but also some of the stuff like really hits the emotional spots, especially for at our age now, we have experienced loss and we've experienced heartache and we've experienced stuff that when you're 12, 13, you haven't. I remember the game came out on like 99.99. It was like I was watching the VMAs, like I was a kid. So I think that, or is that like when the Dreamcast came out too? I don't know, but basically it's like who I am now is I'm the same person, but I'm just like worn for wear, like after 38 years of life, and there's just a lot of sadness, like latent sadness in eight that I think like resonates more with me now than it ever would have as a child.
Okay. Okay. Also, you didn't even say this, but I mean, especially after I just played nine and its absolute dog shit card battle system. Like, I know Triple Triad's
Ugh.
actually a good system.
Man, do not get me started on
It's
the
a good.
battle on Triple Triad, man. I'm playing like I think I like put on Blue Sky a couple weeks ago, and it was like, is there anything more disgusting than this? And it was like me losing my Ifrit card or Ifrit card. I just reset it. If this was 2000, if this was 1999, I just would have scrambled running up to the console to like press the reset button. Here, I was like, shit, turn the switch off before it auto saves. Yeah, the card system. I still sometimes check on eBay to see if I can get the physical card game. If not, I'll just print my own. Dude, it's so much fun to play.
All right. All right. You sold me. All right. My number two is Final Fantasy VI.
That's on my list too. You can just kind of guess where.
It's, well, it would have to be number one. so,
Yeah.
I, I mean, you can start if you want. Since
No,
it's your
you
number
start.
one.
You go, because I just
Okay.
talked.
All right. I mean, we just talked about voice acting and how like, how important that is. But man, that's how good the Final Fantasy VI cast is, right? Like, there's no voice acting, but it's arguably the strongest Final Fantasy cast. Like, seven, maybe it for seven would probably be the battle. Like, it's that good. Like, the cast is incredible. Like, battle systems, about what you'd expect from that era, but it's very polished. And they like throw a lot of weird like different scenarios at you, like almost set piece. I guess the closest thing you could call the set pieces in that era, like just right from the opening cutscene, you're just like, whoa. Like I said, we've alluded to it a few times, but it's like this is different. Like right, like we've played Final Fantasy V, like deep class system, right? But overall, it feels like a Super Nintendo RPG, and this just maybe even more than Chrono Trigger. Even though I like Chrono Trigger more, this somehow felt like bigger, when you play it. And then, I mean, obviously, one of the greatest video game villains of all times in there. Hell of a plot twist that I didn't see coming near the end that drastically changes the game that I won't talk about. But
Come on, the game's 30 years old. We can talk about it.
Oh, man, I don't know. I mean,
you
don't expect
spoilers. Just say spoilers when you post this for a 30-year-old game.
I'll say spoilers.
Man,
but yeah, I mean,
the world ends.
The world totally
ends.
Yes, I didn't see that coming. I did not see the world ending.
Me either. I was 9. Like, what do you mean? Like,
I think I was closer to 12 or 13, but yeah, I was still emulating that on my computer and likely getting some viruses on that computer. But yeah, I mean, you don't. The world ends, and you're still like it's like, whoa, man, this whole world changed. Like, and I'm still in it. Like, it's not just they just did that. Like, it was so unexpected. So, just an incredibly well polished game. I mean, what complaint can you have about it besides like things that are very specific to that era? Like nothing. Like it's impossible to dislike that game. I feel like if you like JRPGs.
And don't you feel like, for me, I feel like the music in 1 through 4 is very similar, at least like with battle themes and stuff like that. Sometimes I hear music and it's hard for me to tell from 1 through 4, sometimes even 5, like what game that's from, even though I've played them all like religiously. But with 6, it's like I remember playing 6 on the Super Nintendo when it was 3, right? And you just like the battle music starts and it's just like you are pumped up, and the boss fight, it's like 6 and 8, 6, 7, 8, I think are some of the best music in video games I've ever heard in my life. And another thing I really love about 6, aside from like just like the graphical, just like intensity, and just how beautiful and wonderful everything looks, is that there's no, in my opinion, there's really no true. It's like a true ensemble, because even though Terra's like the anchor for the story, as you amass the rest of the characters, it zooms out enough to where she is arguably then just like another one of the ensemble members. And after the world ends, you don't even start with her. You pick up. It starts with Celeste, and like she tries to kill herself. Like it's just like. It's just incredible work for a Super Nintendo game, that you can see how you see they're starting to lay the foundation for the shit that follows. And it's just one of those things that I think it blew my mind, my little 9, 10, whatever year old mind. It just was like, it's like, you're not ready for this. It's like, you're not ready for this. And I wasn't. And it changed. I don't want to say it changed my life, but like, what was I playing before that? Lufia. And I love that game. I love that series. But I mean, it just can't hold a candle. Cannot hold a candle to Final Fantasy VI.
What about Lufia 2, dude? I mean,
I like Lufia 1 better. Sorry, everybody.
What?
Yeah,
dude, Lufia 2's gameplay is incredible, dude.
And it looks, and the graphics
the movement in the dungeons. Oh my god.
And the graphics are way better in Lufia 2, but it's just like my nostalgia for like going to Family Video and keeping it for 100 years after I was supposed to return it. And when you're that old, you're like, you don't care what late fees are. You're not the one paying it. Sorry, Mom and Dad.
But yeah, you know what? You know how you can tell Final Fantasy VI is a great game? Is you don't see the clamoring for a remake, right? Like you do with the 9. Like everyone's just, it's the same with Chrono Trigger, right? There's a lot of people like, you know what? Let's just leave it as it is. Like we don't need a remake, even though it'd probably be cool as hell. But what if it's not cool as hell? That would suck. Yeah. So
Hamaguchi-san just said he wanted to remake it too. I'm like, you better remake it. I think imagine it with voice acting, and it's like, you got some voice acting in Dissidia, but like that doesn't count.
Yeah. Kafka would be tough. That would be interesting.
Yeah, I think it would be. I think, and I don't think you
Troy
need to
Baker.
give it the 7. I don't think you need to give it the 7 remake treatment where it needs to be in 3 parts. I think you could just remake it as one game. But my fond memories of 6 and just like, and like even just the characters are amazing. My favorite thing is when they cast a spell, like the sprite change when they're casting a spell, and it's like. It's just magic, dude. It's magic when I play it now.
Yeah, that's another one. I've been wanting to go back to it. Are you Chrono Trigger or this?
Oh man, it's like they are almost two sides of the same coin because it's like Chrono Trigger was my actual very first JRPG that I ever played, and that's what led me down the path
Oh,
to all these other games. And and I
that's
wrote
really
about this.
cool.
I wrote about this like in one of my first pieces on my blog. But um, my mom and I were at Kroger, a grocery store. For all you people not in Metro Detroit like we are, why aren't you here? The We're at like this Kroger in my hometown that has like a video store inside of it, and I'm with my mom, and she's like letting me rent a game, and I'm like sitting there just unsure of what to pick. I think I'm gonna pick like Battle Toads or some shit, and she's like, "What about this game?" And she picks up Chrono Trigger. She's like the box looks cool, and I was like, you know what, Mom? The box does look cool because it's got like a fight with Chrono and frog and like one of the monsters, and it's Toriyama's art. And I'm not a Dragon Ball kid at the time, but I'm like, let's get it. And I mean, honestly, it changed my life. And from then on, I've been like a JRPG kid ever since. So I almost have to say Chrono Trigger because it led me to six, first to two, and then to four, then to six. It's like six is one of those games that I've played it probably 20, 30 times. I played it on a
Oh
PSP,
shit.
a modded. I played it on a modded PSP in like the 10th row in like Wells Hall at MSU on a back in
Oh, I
2005.
know well.
I yeah,
Yes.
I played it on I played it on a Wii, a modded Wii that I remember playing it after graduating college before I went to law school, sitting in my bedroom that summer, just like flying through it. Kind of got a file for it right now on the Pixel remaster. It's like it's a game that I can't wait for my kids to want to play and for me to sit down and sit down and play it. So I think for those reasons, I have to say two sides of the same coin.
Have your kids played a real RPG?
Um, Not really. It's like they've. I think my daughter's played Pokemon Arceus, and I don't
Oh,
know. It's
okay.
like and like they've played Pokemon games, but it's like my daughter's just now getting. She's second grade, so she can read like pretty well, but she's more into like Minecraft and playing Pokemon cards than playing games. But I know that one day I'll be able to get them hooked.
I think about that a lot. Like, how can I? Because I feel like you want your kids to play those games first. Because if they play the new stuff, then you come back. I don't know. I don't know how it would go. So,
I think when
but
they're
maybe it's just
teenagers, it'll be easier to
yeah,
be like,
for sure.
let's look at some lore. I mean, my son's watching Power Rangers, right? And like that looks like shit now compared to back then. I did play Super Mario RPG with my son, and but he
Okay.
was this was like what last year, maybe 2 years ago. So he was like he still can't read. He's in kindergarten, so I would read it to him, and like I'd like sometimes let him do the battles because it's easy enough. But they don't have a taste. They don't have a taste for it yet. They're super into Minecraft, which I kind of hate. Cozy games like Minecraft and stuff next.
Yes. Check out
Is
Boss Fights.
Minecraft
It is
cozy? Is
truly. Uh,
No, finish that. Finish that. Check out what?
Check out Boss Fights. Check out Boss Fights Substack. It is truly great. Paul is a master at just like interweaving life in video games. I feel like that is his biggest strength as writer, and I look up to it. I think he's a tremendous writer. So, um, all right,
Thank you.
my
Thank
number
you very
one.
much.
My number one is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I told you everyone would hate my list. I got three different
No,
Final Fantasy VII games out here.
I love
Uh,
your list. I mean, I agree.
thank you, thank you.
Go ahead. I've got more lore when you're done.
Yeah. So yeah, well, yeah. Paul reviewed this game. Side note. So he played it, and I think that was part of when we really started bonding because you were able to hype me up before I started. But yeah, I mean, what can I say? Like I talked about the combat system in remake, right? And they fixed like every issue that I had with the combat system. They fixed in this one. They fixed the elemental thing. They gave you ways to exploit more weaknesses. Once again, same thing. Like great mix of action and strategy with the combat system. The open world is just people shit on it. I love it. Right. I think just every world has its own gimmick. The scope is just when you're walking around, it's just always amazing. Like it just feels amazing to walk around and just like this amazing song is playing no matter what world you're in. Each area has its own like unique traversal mechanic. And I like that it shows you where stuff is. Whatever. Like I was just enjoying walking around this world with these awesome characters. and experiencing this great battle system. The story, like the overall story, there's nothing really going on, right? Like this is kind of the dead zone in the game in terms of the actual main plot, but there's tons of character development. Like just the individual character arcs are so strong. Like Red 13's arc, especially as a father. Like I like to say Rebirth is for the dads. Like friggin' Red 13's arc, so good. I got that moment just gets me every time. Barrett's arc. I mean, Barrett is just so good throughout this. Like he's comic relief, but he's not. Like he's serious, but he's funny as hell. We talked about the voice acting earlier. Like Britt Baron, Eric John Bentley does Barrett. He's great. Britt Baron. I remember playing the game and I thought Tifa was good. You know, I thought Britt Baron was good as Tifa. And then I did a top 25 moments in Rebirth article, and I was rewatching all these moments, and it was just like one moment after another. It was just like this, like spoil. Well, it happens in Final Fantasy VII. So yeah, I mean, Jesse dies, right? So, and like she comes up a lot during Rebirth, and just like every time, like Tifa will just kind of lightly choke up. Like she sees a picture of her, like hyping for a play that they're going to, and she just kind of just has this moment. And it's just they just are so masterful with how they write it and how they voice act it. Side quests are awesome. Like they flesh out the characters great, and the mini games are maybe some of my favorite mini games in any game ever. Like Queen's Blood, Chocobo Racing's really good and has a really fun story arc. I love the piano. I mean, some people don't like it. I think it's interesting,
Oh,
but then obviously you're
I do
playing
not
these
like the piano,
incredible
dude.
songs. So there's people that don't like it, but I love it. I love the piano, and I mean, it's really every mini game is fun. And guess what? Yeah, they force you to do the mini games. They force you for like 2 seconds. You know what? Stop trying to get platinum trophies. Like you don't need to play it
Yes.
on hard. So
I've never gotten a
yeah,
single
I didn't
platinum in
play
my
any of
life, you
these mini games
guys.
on hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one
The
accidentally this year, and I was like ashamed of it.
the piano mini game inspired my daughter, my oldest, that inspired her to want to learn how to play piano, and so she's been taking lessons now for like 6 7 months, and she's like playing like "Easy" by Lionel Richie like on the piano, and I told her, I'm like, when you're ready, you're gonna play On Our Own because that's what you were playing. That's what you were playing in the mini game. The very first song you played in the Seven Rebirth mini game that inspired you to want to play piano. I'm like, I want to see you play it in real life. And she's like, okay,
Yeah,
whatever, sure, let's do it.
that rules.
I have to say, Seven Rebirth, in my opinion, blows Seven Remake out of the water. It's just like because
Yes, yes,
you it's just even the opening because you're sitting here being like, how are they going to pick up from the game? And it's just like it picks up in a way that's basically got you being like, fuck, I have to see what's going on. And like the way that they drop the tidbits of like the reveal at the towards the end about like the like whatever multiverse or however they're gonna phrase it, with like the small little like the Shinra puppies is like a way that you're able to discern that not all is right because you see like 3 or 4 different versions of the puppy, like the mascot.
yeah,
And it's like small moments like when Barrett is talking about Marlene to Cloud, like right before the choral sequence, and he's like talking about how he's like crying thinking about Marlene growing up. It's like, yeah, dude, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is for the dads because it's like we have daughters and it's like thinking about that and thinking about my own kids, right? Seven remake came out when my middle child, my son, it came out on his birthday, and to show it to him last year and be like, or to tell him that, and he's like, oh, that's so cool. It says the same birthday as me, and then to play it last year, it's like probably the first game I've ever given a perfect score to. It came being able to play it. I think I wrote about how I played it during like a kind of like difficult time in my life when I was dealing with some health issues, and I just come back from the press event in Los Angeles, and then I ended up being hospitalized for a couple days, and I got out of the hospital and I got the review code, and it was like the universe being like, here you go, buddy, here you go. And I played, I think, like 100 hours. They gave you like a month too. I played like 100 hours leading up to reviewing the game. And did I finish any mini game like to its completion, like where you like beating it to death on hard mode? No, but I played them all. I hated like 2 of them. It was
yeah. There's a couple that aren't great.
the yeah, there are a couple clunkers, but like the Queen's Blood minigame is, in my opinion, rivals Triple Triad. Um,
Hmm.
and just like the humanity that's there, The way I think that they really the last like 20% of the game with like Aerith, the scene at the in the Temple of the Ancients, and at like the
Yes.
whatever it's called where they go right afterwards, and even the ending. I thought the ending was haunting and chilling. With like Cloud having the black materia and he's like hiding it, and Aerith is talking to him, and he's the only one that can see her, and we still don't know exactly what that means. But it just gave me like this the ending of the of remake like the ending of both of these games sent different chills down my spine, and it's like I have faith. I have faith in the team that they're going to be able to bring it home.
I like you referencing that Aerith scene because you talked about the Eunice scene in Final Fantasy X, and that very reminiscent of that to me. Like it really brought me back to that during that moment. Very artistic and beautiful, and just like the dance, the moves that she's doing are kind of similar. Yeah, I Rebirth. My only real problem with Rebirth is I actually don't love the ending in spots. Like it is kind of haunting in stretches, but I think they did certain things that limited how climactic certain moments were. I don't want to. I'm trying not to spoil as much, but I guess you already kind of uncorked the bottle
Yeah.
there. But I mean, it but it was a little like it didn't hit me the same way, but it was haunting and it was like kind of like what the hell is going to happen next. It does have that appeal to it. So, but yeah, that is a I think it's a great game, and I do have a lot of faith in the third. I'm glad they're not doing DLC for Rebirth as much as Rebirth's one of the few games where I would actually probably play DLC, but I'm uh, I'm happy they're just pressing on. They want that third game out, so
I still haven't played Intergrade.
that's
You
it.
know, I have. I still haven't played Intergrade. You know, the seven DLC with Yuffie. I just never got around to it.
Oh,
You start.
I actually played that because when I replayed it, it was out, and I didn't play it when it came out, but I replayed it. It's actually really good, and it helps give a lot of context for some stuff in Rebirth with her. So, and obviously there will be a lot more of that in the third game. But yeah, that's it, man. Paul, you were the perfect guest for this. I don't think I really mentioned this at the start, but it's like you are a working dad like me, and I love to write. I love video games, and I love being part of the conversation. But just at this current phase of my life, I just didn't think it was possible, right? I was just content tweeting into the void and seeing all you do, like how hard you work in your personal life, and then how you also, write for your blog, you write for a couple websites, really inspired me. And that was what a big thing that gave me said 40. I said 40%. I gave you 40% credit. That gave me a big push to start this, and I'm really grateful for that, man. I'm grateful for your friendships. Thank you for all you do, and thank you for being on this podcast, man. The lore was incredible.
I have to say I feel the same way. It's like as an adult, it's like it's hard to make friends, right? And it's like certainly I don't have like very many friends in my real life that I can talk to about video games, and so it was like just meeting you by chance and finding out that we have all this in common. It's been wonderful, and like knowing you now for like the year and a half or 2 years that we've known each other has been awesome. And I'm looking forward to our friendship continuing. And I really enjoyed being on your guest today, and I can't wait to see what happens next, both with the Final Fantasy VII remake series and with us, man.
I gotta think in another multiverse out there, we were friends at Michigan State University. That's what I'm going with. And one day maybe we'll find our way to that multiverse, but I'm gonna pretend I live in it.
Yeah, but it's even better now because we're friends now. It's like you have so many friends in college that you don't stay current with, and it's like, well, we got each other now, man.
For sure. All right. Well, thanks to everyone for watching. So check out Paul's blog, Boss Fights, once again. Check out bignerdgame.com. I just dropped my hottest takes of 2025 so far. There's some good ones in there, in my opinion. I have a lot of other good stuff coming. We are very close to Game Awards season, which Paul looks down on a little bit, but I will be fully predicting nominations. I will have betting odds, fake betting odds. For that, I have tons of content with that. End of year, it's going to be crazy. And I'll be doing that stuff with the podcast too. So thank you so much for watching, and we will talk to you soon.
See ya.